Revelation chapter 15, beginning with verse 5. After this I looked, and I saw in heaven the temple, that is the tabernacle of the covenant law, and it was opened. Out of the temple came the seven angels with the seven plagues. They were dressed in clean, shining linen and wore golden sashes around their chest. What the NIV calls the tabernacle of covenant law is the tent of witness. Now, as I mentioned previously, you cannot read Revelation rightly if you're missing the echoes of Exodus that are just pervasive throughout. John's just seen the victors standing by the sea. He's heard them sing the song of Moses, and now at the start of a new section where John tells us of the unleashing of the seven plagues, he sees the tent of witness. It's the heavenly counterpart, the actual upon which the design was based for the earthly tabernacle, that which accompanied the Israelites through the wilderness. Now, one assumes that the scholars behind the NIV translation determined to translate it as tabernacle of the covenant law, because the Greek word for witness can also be translated as testimony. Now, what testimony would you find in the tabernacle, you ask? Well, good question. That would be the Ten Commandments, or the covenant law. In the English Standard Translation of Exodus 25:21, God told Moses, "And you shall put the mercy seat on top of the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you." In that case, the testimony was the commandments. Now, the ark, as I've shared before, was representative of God's throne. In Leviticus 16, we're given prescription for the Day of Atonement, where the high priest is to enter the tabernacle, and he shall take some of the blood of the bull and sprinkle it with his finger on the front of the mercy seat on the east side. And in front of the mercy seat, he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times. This was the way that the priest was to make atonement once a year for the sins of the people. Now, it shouldn't come as a surprise to us that God's throne is composed of 2 significant elements, one representing his mercy and the other, the covenant law, representing his righteousness. But do you notice what's missing in the 2 verses that I read from Revelation? Well, I'll tell you, there's no mention here of the mercy seat. Only the tabernacle of the covenant law is in view here, and it's open. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. This is a Raiders of the Lost Ark moment. But unlike the movie, no spirits came out, and thankfully John's face did not melt off. I know the movie came out in 1981, but beyond the face melting, do you remember what else happened? Yeah, everyone but Indy and Marion got blasted. Actually not a bad interpretation for what's about to happen in our text. The focus on the testimony, or God's law, as opposed to the mercy seat, is to suggest that it's God's judgment based on the law that is active behind the 7 plagues. Those who have surrendered to Jesus, who have the name of the Lamb and the Father's name on their heads, will be delivered, but those who do not will be judged by the law. One more thing in case you missed it. We've got a replay here of Revelation chapter 11. After the angel sounded the final of the 7 trumpets, the 24 elders fell on their faces in worship. Then God's temple in heaven was opened, and within his temple was the ark of his covenant. And there came flashes of lightning, rumblings, peals of thunder, an earthquake, and a severe hailstorm. What was foreshadowed there, after a very long digression, is finally taken up and coming to pass. We'll pick up with verse 7 next time. Have a great weekend. God bless.